Hello and welcome to Mr. Dad Skates. My name is Aaron, also known as Mr. Dad Skates online, and I thank you for joining me today. If you watched my recent video from the Home Avenue DIY, thank you first off. And secondly, I don't think I truly got to show the size and scope of everything there. I noticed my one camera was giving me issues throughout the day, so there's some shaky spots and we're going to work on that. Um, I am trying to work towards upgrading most of the equipment that I have, at least the cameras. Everything else is doing all right for now. But while I was there, um, I was two things hit me. Number one, I was humbled by the space and all the kind people that were there, and I was also encouraged and humbled at the same time by everyone who came up to me and was like, "Hey, yo, it's Mr. Dad Skates. How you doing?" And I'm really glad I got to meet some of you guys in real life for the first time. It was really cool to be able to hang out with some of you and actually skate with you, get a couple clips with some of my online friends that I've known for 2, 3, some of them 4 years now, and we've just now first time getting to meet up. So that was really awesome. But what really struck me out of that was, I had some conversations with some of those people, and I wasn't expecting to get what I received from them. And what I received from them was such encouragement and positivity that, you know, they said things like, when I feel bad about myself skating, your stuff comes up on my For You page, or I see it on YouTube, or, I check it out on Instagram. And, I have to remind myself, hey, I'm not as old as Mr. Dad Skates, and he's still putting in some work. And, for you guys to say that my crappy little, uh, silly little things that I do with my skateboards, if that encourages you, you know, that took my breath away a couple of times. And, there were some specific words said that, nearly made me cry. And, you know who you are, you people out there that, shared those words with me. You really touched my heart, and it just made me want to focus on this even more. You know, the fact that I'm 49, almost 50 years old, and I'm still riding my skateboard, in so many different ways. Because, let's just face it, I'm not just out on the streets, I'm not just at parks, and I don't just skate here in my garage. And, I try to hit as many forms of skateboarding as I can, just because I think it's important to be as well rounded as you can be when you're talking about a subject like skateboarding. And, if I was just into longboarding, I would probably just talk about longboarding. Or if I was just into freestyle, I would just do that. But because I'm into pretty much every aspect of skateboarding, I like to share all that. And, for you guys out there to give me that positive feedback, that means an awful lot to me. And I truly, truly appreciate that. And I hope that, what I've got coming up in the future, will be at least as much of an inspiration, if not more, because I am trying to, I want to improve the channel. I really do. And I have for years, but, I guess I just didn't have the proper motivation there for a while. And now I think I've got the motivation that I need to go forward and to make this even better for you guys into the future. But I do want to talk about the Home Avenue DIY park just for a minute. Like I said, I don't think what I filmed there Saturday really quite gave the size and scope of everything. You know, I saw some pictures and a couple of short video clips online of, what the park had been in the past. And, I thought, oh, I'll just grab, my everyday board and my freestyle board in case there's some really cool flat ground that I could do some freestyle stuff on there. Yeah, I didn't take a helmet. And, you know, now looking at the size of some of the transitional pieces that were there, I would say helmet and pads highly recommended for that place. And that's part of why I didn't get a lot of clips of me, there on Saturday doing a whole lot because I was kind of overwhelmed with that space. When I walked up there carrying my two boards and all my equipment, my jaw about hit the floor just because I was so befuddled by how big the park was. Here in Cincinnati, we've got a park that's under the I-471 bridge in over in Newport, Kentucky, and it's a good sized park. And there's lots of room to roll around there. But Home Avenue puts that place to shame as far as the size is concerned. Um, if you're ever near Dayton, Ohio, and you have even an hour to spend skateboarding somewhere, I would highly recommend you go check out the Home Avenue DIY Park. Um, I can't wait to go back and skate when there's not about 300 people there, just so I can kind of focus on learning the transitions there because, that's important. I didn't want to throw myself into a bunch of brand new ramps that I've never skated before without a helmet or, some knee pads at least to help with falling out. But going back, I'm definitely going to gear up with the helmet and knee pads probably just to protect these old things because as I've talked about before, they're pretty much trashed. Um, but yes, that park was far more than I had anticipated, and I do plan on going back. And I highly encourage anybody that has the time to stop by there. Yeah, there were some people that came up to me and they gave me such words of encouragement, and it just made me want to do that even more back. While I was watching all these other skateboarders who were honestly just tearing that place up, and I didn't get nearly enough good footage of some of those guys, and I apologize for that. But, you know, every time I saw another trick, whether it was in front of me or, 50 yards away, I was yelling and screaming at those things. And, for the people that I knew their names, I was calling their names out when they were doing tricks or, you know, just being encouraging to everybody. And, thanking those of you who did stop me and share what I've meant to you. Thank you again. And it was kind of weird, having, you know, more than one people show up and say, "Hey, you're Mr. Dead Skates." Because that's, usually I might see one person that will know me, but having more than a handful of people come up to me throughout the day, that was awesome. And it made me want to give back in that same way. So I was, trying to encourage as many people as I could throughout the day, and trying to share some of the clips with those people that, that I did get and trying to post those back online and tag those people as well. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't matter if there's 10 to 20 people at the skate park or 2 to 300 people at the skate park. Be encouraging to others when you're there. And if you see first timers, those of you who like to call people posers, chances are you're the poser. Um, just because somebody can't do an ollie or do a kickflip doesn't make them a poser. And just because you see somebody trying to get a clip doesn't make them a poser. Everybody that's on a skateboard that has social media is out there trying to get clips. That's just the nature of the game right now. And part of skateboarding, it's always been about getting the clips. You can go back to the late 70s and the 80s, and guys were riding in the pools and the bowls, and they wanted to get those clips so that they could share it with their friends and show them, hey, this is what I did. So be encouraging when you see people out there. Don't be a hater. Just encourage others when you're out there, in the real world and here online. You know, I take my fair share of criticism. People call me posers and, old man and grampy and all that stuff. But I take that in jest because, I don't take any of that stuff personally. Don't be the Debbie Downer. Don't be the jerk at the park that's always saying, oh, you suck or poser or whatever. Just try to be positive to others when you're out there in the real world and here online. And I want to apologize to my friend Ashton and Better Days Skateboarding. We tried to get our interview done Saturday while we were there. Unfortunately, the microphones picked up all the background noise and the music and the skateboards, and You just couldn't hear what we were talking about. So I'm going to reschedule him as soon as he can get down here to Pop's Garage. We're going to do it here where we don't have all that extra noise and we can spend some extra time really digging into, what his nonprofit is with helping kids around Dayton. If your group is having a skateboard outing and you're in the central or southern Ohio, northern Kentucky, or southeast Indiana area, let me know. If I can make it to your event, I will show up and see what I can do to help spread the skateboarding love in your community too. And just know that you're never too old to ride. So shut up and skate already.